really putting your money where your mouth is and being able to show what you say, prove it. Look, when we mess up, admitting that we mess up and proving that we fixed it. We have two big numbers that are important in our business. One is a response time.
Yep.
How quickly do we respond to an issue? And then the second is a resolution time.
I have your reservation.
Yeah, and I kept your reservation.
And I kept your reservation.
Great analogy.
Okay, everybody, welcome back. This is our second episode of whatever we call this podcast. We'll probably have introduced that in the introduction that we do later. Today we have Matt Locke with us. He is the CEO of Brightstep. I had to do some digging to learn what that even means because unlike me, Matt is not exactly verbose on the internet. So Matt, do you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit?
Thanks. Yeah, Matt Locke. As was said, I'm the CEO of Brightstep, which is a private equity owned primarily Valet trash service provider. We operate in 25 states and have phenomenal talent. I think we've got best in class tech-enabled service, and we operate in an industry that's really fantastic.
It's a brand new thing. I've started to see buildings. I was talking to a guy, Zach Molzer, who's on Twitter. He's doing the Aladdin building. Isn't doing a trash chute at all. Just counting on Valet.
Okay.
Right. And it's a trend that didn't exist 15 years ago.
That's right.
Right. Where you could build a building and avoid all the headache and nuisance of chutes. Yeah. And now you can just go, no, someone will just pick it up.
Somebody will pick it up. That design is going to require obviously 7-day service.
Yeah.
Where the majority of the industry is a 5-day service. But totally understand that it's a bit of the amenitization, right, of the space.
That's where our culture's been going for 50 years.
That's exactly right. And it's interesting. The service, while it is an amenity and while it provides great NOI for owners and operators, I feel like one of the greatest benefits, if not the greatest benefit to an owner operator is asset preservation. I mean, this Aladdin building, I haven't read up on it, but my guess is it's going to be a couple $100 million asset.
I think it's $100 million building.
Okay.
And it was, it's a 100-year-old building.
Okay. So it's going to be renovation.
Yeah.
And I mean, one of the fastest ways to mess those up, right, is to have people dragging trash down.
Yeah.
So
dripping stuff everywhere.
Right. Yeah.
Well, and it gets the interesting thing that people look at it generally as a cost, right? They're like, oh, it's a cost. But as a building operations, it's an extra set of eyeballs. Right? Hey, there's a thing over there. You should pay attention to it. Hey, this thing, all the lights are out there. I don't know what's going on. It's really hot on that floor.
Yeah.
It's really cold on that floor. Right. Whatever the thing might be.
It's a garden style property. There's a sprinkler head that went off. Or to your point, in the fall and in the early spring, we can see when area lights are out, as opposed to this time of year where it stays light till 9 o'clock at night.
Right.
And less and less, I would say, less and less operators are actually living on property than 15 or 20 years ago.
Well, most operators now do 3 or 5 properties, right?
It's true. Yeah, specifically maintenance. They're getting into more efficient plotting. As our property managers, in some cases, assistant managers. Probably not leasing agents, but it's a fair assessment.
So I said, it was hard to find stuff. I had to dig pretty deep to find only 2 pages worth of stuff to understand this, right?
Okay.
So, but it's interesting.
That's success in a lot of ways. But
yeah, I agree. In some ways,
people,
as long as there's not 18 pages.
Okay.
And graph sheet.
The strategy in Brightstep is that there are brands within the brand. Right. Is that correct?
Yeah. We actually created Brightstep as an umbrella after we had decided that we weren't going to go across the country as one brand.
You were going to do the 1-800 got junk, everything's
exactly
the same. Right.
Yeah. We actually, subscribe to the idea that we have best in class regional operators and we don't want to wipe their brands from the face of the earth. We want to retain the complexion of the companies, the value propositions, more importantly, the people.
Well, because it's in my head. So whatever name is there is in my head. It's there.
Yeah.
So and why are you going to fight that?
That's exactly right. So while that's that resonates well with founders, right, and we're a build and buy strategy, that's very helpful. But at some point, right, there is scale involved. I'll give you an example.
Okay.
In Indianapolis, we bought 2 companies within 8 months of one another, and the 2 founders literally lived in the same subdivision. one was twice as big as the other, and the smaller of the two basically acquiesced and said, "It's okay. We can shutter my brand.
He got it.
He wins, and not wins. Not
Let me have the logo
yeah,
for the wall.
that's exactly right. Yeah.
All right. Give me the sign.
So we primarily go to market with two brands. One is a Southeastern brand, our Affinity Waste Solutions brand,
Okay.
and then the other is Greenway, which is primarily Midwest, West.
And so, do these other two not exist really anymore?
That's exactly right. So Impact was one of the Indianapolis brands that we shuttered, and Pro Valet was a small operator in Texas, and that was the first acquisition that we did, and it was integrated into the Affinity business.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
And since then, frankly, we've done 3 more.
Uh-huh.
One that we just finished up Friday.
nice.
Yeah.
You don't look tired at all.
There, it wasn't. That one was actually probably the easiest. I could tell you some stories about these. That
Yeah. We'll turn the mics off later.
Yeah.
There's a guy coming tonight who's doing a deal, and he messaged me this morning. He goes, "What time can I get there to not miss it?" Because he's in the midst of it.
I'm
He's
sure
like,
he
I got a
is.
call that goes to, and you're like,
is this one of the equity guys?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He's in the middle of something, so you can ask him about it today.
Oh well,
That's
that'll be
good.
fun.
But so in the PE space, the interesting thing I've been watching from we spent more time in the waste broker space, right?
Yeah.
And there was a lot of PE investment from, call it 13 through 18, and then an interesting
Massive slugs in 20 and 22.
right, and then an interesting couple of massive slugs later as the 20s started.
When did Oakleaf happen?
2010, which is actually kind of what
Kicked off.
turned us on to doing our spin on that market,
Okay,
which was
right.
a company called Sequoia Waste
All right.
Solutions.
And so, what have you seen? And don't give away anything that's proprietary, but what have you seen from your seat watching? Because you guys are probably doing your own due diligence on the marketplace
Sure.
and everything. And we're going to talk with this during the event with Matt Hillen about how valuations have changed. I got a sneak preview of his slides for our Waste Nexus event, which, if you're just listening to this out of context, we're hosting an event today and tomorrow here in Pittsburgh that's for people in and around the waste industry, called Waste Nexus. You can look it up online. I think we're the only people who ever named something that I'm aware of. But I have a theory that the valuation hangover is affecting certain parts of the market. Have you seen that, where valuations were 10x and now they've decreased because of cap rates? And
So it's interesting. Valuations are first of all, thank you for the invite. We are in and around the waste industry, so thanks for the invite to the first.
yeah, you're one of those last mile people.
Yeah, the old joke is right. Your business is worth what somebody will pay for.
That's true.
I do think that there's a certain amount of hangover with interest rates. I also think that that's probably buoyed by the massive amount of capital that's been on the sidelines and the desire to frankly put it to work.
Yep.
If you look at in the last,
You look at my inbox, I can tell you there's a lot of desire.
there's a lot of desire, and there's also in the last 18 months a lot of mid-market, upper and lower, have gone out and raised a new fund.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Trivest raised a $5 billion fund,
Right.
which is incredible.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
They're trying to do what size deals?
They were trying to do, I think that one is a 25, maybe $50 million EBITDA and above.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's on the really high end of
Yeah, you're
EBITDA
chasing
market.
big.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're chasing big stuff.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, we're in the flyer fund.
Yeah.
Ours is called the Discovery Fund, and it's just that.
No.
They can afford to take a few flyers in that fund.
I have a question. When you're intentionally going to keep the brand in the market, which I love, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think we've seen people talk about that with like HVAC companies.
Sure.
They'll go buy the HVAC company.
That's exactly
Contact the brand. Why would you do that? What type of due diligence are you doing in addition to what you might normally be doing if you were going to roll it under your own brand to qualify that, what you see online and in talking, that brand holds up locally and that those assumptions hold up?
So one of the things that we do as part of the very prescriptive due diligence as part of Trivest is we do client interviews.
Yeah.
So we'll, it's a bit misleading to ask like the Fox, hey,
Right.
which
Right.
ones,
Which hens am I
which hens am I allowed to talk to, right?
Right.
But we do that. And I mean, frankly, sometimes we get the opportunity when we see a a list of portfolio or client companies that a company does business with. We'll pick a couple of the individuals, and then we'll pick some that might have a greater percentage of their business to get a good feel if they only take care of their big clients or if they only take care of their little clients, right? And I will tell you, we narrowly escaped a terrible purchase by doing that.
Yeah.
We called a client, and she was kind enough to let us and her service provider know that she hadn't been able to talk to him in some months, and she was actually firing.
Trying to fire them.
She fired him when I called.
Yeah, that she did.
So we obviously didn't do that deal.
Yeah.
That got awkward.
It got awkward very quickly.
Yeah.
Did you keep your camera on?
Did you send her a thank you gift?
Yes, we actually did. And it worked out well for us.
Yeah.
I don't know that it worked out well for everybody, but
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he needed to know that eventually.
he was going to find out sometime.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that, talking to people and really understanding their perspective of the value prop, again, I'm not going to lean too far into, we're slightly tech enabled.
Yeah.
Clearly not as much as your company, but, those pieces become important when you can prove the things that you say and really support the value proposition that you're selling.
Well, and you came out of, so you were Carrier, Republic, another doorstep company, Trucks and Parts, which is it's another one of those businesses that's adjacent to trash, but isn't in it in a sense, right?
Yeah.
Back to Carrier, and then this stuff, right? Is that the right order?
That's exactly right.
So when you do all that, from your seat, what do you see that's the same as when you started, and what's really different? Because to me, a lot of this stuff is still nuts and bolts, very similar.
It is. And it's interesting as I think, so I'll answer another question before that. As I think future forward, what does the industry look like? The valet industry, when I got into it, we had just had our second child. So Nate's 13 now. So the service is essentially the same.
Yep.
What we wrap around it in terms of technology and ability to communicate and speed, transparency, those are the things that I think are providing differentiation and driving us forward. We're clearly a bit of a scaled company, not necessarily a mom and pop. So we can invest in
Yeah, you're in that middle ground in a way.
Yeah. And I think that, when we lean into that and make that important, that's what I think has changed over the last 13 years is really putting your money where your mouth is and being able to show what you say and prove it.
Yep.
And
that's simple things like, we got every door.
Well, it's simple things
say it.
like we got every door. We look, when we mess up, admitting that we mess up and proving that we fixed it. We have two big numbers that are important in our business. One is a response time.
Yeah.
How quickly do we respond to an issue? And then second is a resolution time. And we have, we hold ourselves.
It's the Seinfeld. It's I have your reservation.
Yeah, and I kept your reservation.
And I kept your reservation.
Great analogy. So we hold ourselves accountable in those two respects to our service levels. But we also then go out many, many times a day, week, month, whatever, and ask our clients, how are we doing?
Yeah.
Right. We ask leasing managers, we ask maintenance managers, we ask assistant property managers, how are we doing?
Do you have to incent them to answer that?
We don't. We don't. Our district service managers are on property.
You have
every other week. We do. We have great touch points, and we have, again, because of the industry, it's a highly relational industry.
Yep.
And so we think we've got great relationships as well.
Yeah. It's fascinating to me. I mean, it really is. Because when we were running Sequoia, which if you don't know, we used to run a waste brokerage company that we sold to Quest in 22.
Okay.
And when we were running that, we would get drawn into new construction. And so then their conversation would be, okay, well, you're going to do a shoot, you're going to do valet, you're going to do this. And at the time, valet wasn't really in the Pittsburgh market very much at all. And I was trying to bring it here because I saw the advantage that it brought to the property owner or an NOI type of thing. I saw the advantage it brought in terms of, you don't have to put in a $75,000 shoot apparatus and all this equipment. You can just
Minimax and everything else.
Right. Yeah. A simple little trash room down there that doesn't have to be centrally located and then have to get it out. There's a lot of value to it.
Yeah.
But the challenge was, since we didn't have a corpus of buildings here that were doing it, who was going to be first?
That's right.
It's hard to start with 50 units.
Yeah. It's,
Right?
It's tough. It's funny. 13, 15 years ago, half of our job was adoption, getting
Yeah.
people to
Education.
education and adoption. Now I would say that, the industry for the most cases, highly adoptive,
Yes.
within kind of certain price classes, right? And asset classes.
Class A stuff loves it.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
building,
nothing's built today without it.
the building we did, remember the building we did that was the yards of 3 crossings?
Mhm.
And we had to redesign the trash room.
Mhm.
If we were to redesign that again today, you wouldn't have the chute or the trash room.
Yeah.
You'd have the trash room. You wouldn't have the chute.
That was the fun one. We had to have a certain type of caster configuration to get in and out of the room. Oh man. Unfortunately, those puzzles are ingrained in my head.
Yeah, they're very much ingrained in our heads.
So would you say in a market, and if this is like too proprietary, just skip it, but like is most of the growth competitive wins, or is most of the growth getting adoption from buildings that don't have valet service?
I would say it's probably 60-40.
Okay.
We win our fair share of new construction.
Yeah.
And for the last 5 years, there's been plenty of that. We're going to see it slow.
It's a challenge now.
Right.
Yeah.
It certainly is. There's a little bit overbuilt, and permits are low. Starts are going to really probably fall off the cliff, but that's okay. There will always be apartments that
Sure.
are moved from
New
right a
owner.
low C to a B, or
New owner.
renovation, new owner. So the choice will be there. But then on the competitive side, this is such a disparate kind of sub market,
Right.
that the levels of service are legitimate.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it's similar to the waste industry in the sense that you sometimes are facing the lowest common denominator, right? You've got a great general manager,
Mhm.
you've got a great finance team, you've got a great customer service team, you've got great HR. Okay, great. All this stuff's great. But the guy walking through the hallway is the face of your brand, right?
Yeah.
Guy getting the trash bin at 4 a.m. Everything is the face of your brand.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, how do you get that guy to be as invested enough that he represents us in a way that is neutral to positive?
That's exactly right. I think about the front load driver at 2 a.m., right? Opening the crowd.
Please close it back up.
That's exactly right. What is he going to do when he gets back in the truck?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. I mean, very often we deal with the least common denominator, again, because as is most of the waste industry, it's relatively unsupervised, right? Pretty autonomous. And again, we do it at night, right? So our goal is to not be seen. Right?
And at night meaning evening, or at night
Yeah. 6 to 8. Yeah. Or so.
Do you find that there's a sensor push in your world?
I don't. It's really interesting you mentioned that. I'd worked with one of our container suppliers 10 years ago on the idea of RFID,
Right.
so that when we passed the container, we would be able to show the breadcrumb,
Right.
of 2 things: every container that was out, and the fact that we serviced.
Timestamp.
Yeah, that was we were powering rocket ships, that kind of thing, but that's never going to happen.
Right.
But I do think that there is greater opportunity for geolocation, right? And essentially getting there with breadcrumb type technology today. The question is, are you going to spend however much time looking at it to ensure that in fact everything was done correctly? Or can you bring some AI to it to kind of help out?
I always think in negative feedback loops in these things where it's like, okay, the technology worked.
Yeah.
Right. I took a picture of every bin as I went along. I scanned in, and then the next night I showed up for my job and the app crashed. Now what?
Yeah.
Right. And like, that's what I find that people oftentimes don't think about is what's the negative feedback loop in that sense of when this thing doesn't work, what do you do?
Yeah.
Right. And it's fascinating having those conversations over the years, because some people, you'll talk to them about their product, and they'll never have thought of that. Okay.
Wi-Fi goes down.
Right,
What happens?
Yeah. We don't really have a plan for that. Okay. Well, you don't really have a product because that doesn't work.
So if you lean too heavily into that piece of it, as opposed to use an old waste phrase, just get the garbage. I mean, again, for a lot of these kinds of businesses, if the phone doesn't ring,
It's great.
you've done your job, right? And you've done it really, really well.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. There was something going on the other day that I was commenting on online that it really is still just a people business. That is, are people not complaining? Great. Are people happy? Great.
Yeah.
Right. That's where we are.
Yeah.
Okay. So is there anything as you look at this Waste Nexus event that we're doing for people in and around the waste industry to have more direct conversations in a smaller environment, I guess 2 questions. 1, what drew you to it? And then 2, what are you looking for from it?
Great. So what drew me to it, obviously, I Keith invited me.
Yep.
I've known Keith for probably 15 years. We worked not
Were you
together.
Republic together?
I was a Republic. He was in, I think, Austin. I was in
Okay.
Houston. We got together because we were in the same region quite a bit.
Keith's our new VP of sales guy
Yeah.
in the last year.
He then also serendipitously went into the Valet business
Yep.
and worked for Trash Butler, one of the large competitors. And again, as competitors and knowing each other previously, we were very friendly in the industry. So the invitation was great. I love the idea of being able to come together and look at some potentially new technologies, learn what folks on the hauling side are doing that could be a little more tech enabled than we are.
Yeah, you met Mike on the way in.
I did.
Annoying.
Yep. And again, that's kind of a little bit of like, old home day a little bit. But then also the interaction of the folks you mentioned in terms of private equity, folks that are going to be here. I thought it was just going to be a phenomenal opportunity to expand my network, but also see what some folks are doing that may be cutting edge.
It's really funny that you say all that, because when we launched this, Whitney and I have been talking about it. We've been talking about it. Finally, one day I was just like, boom, boom, boom. She goes, what do you mean you launched it? No, we're doing it. Let's go. And so she
We'll
went,
figure out Brian's morning inspiration.
she wanted to come through the phone at me. It was
Yeah.
great.
Right.
All right. So as part of this, I stole this from another podcast. We're going to do a bit of a lightning round at the end.
Okay. Awesome.
So these are generally 1-word answers.
Okay.
Expand as you need to. Easy one to start. Ready? Is the Pope Catholic?
Certainly is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where did
Villanova guy, right?
Where to go? Oh, you beat me to it.
I did.
All right, there you go. Public company you'd want to run.
That's a good one. Maybe Carrot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, got some experience there. If you could build your field of dreams, which sport?
Oh, it'd be golf. I built a golf course.
All right, all right. I've done that. It's not as easy as it looks.
Oh, no, I agree with you. I can imagine. It's, yeah,
What time do you wake up?
6.
6. Okay. Reggie Miller or Tyrese Halliburton?
Tyrese.
Sorry, Reggie.
Yeah, sorry, Reggie.
He never did they win a championship, or he made it to the championship?
He made it to the championship. They never won a championship.
And Halliburton made it last year, right?
Last year.
Didn't win.
And he's still really young.
All right, I'm
He's-
just saying.
yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. And, he hurt himself in that last game.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
Pittsburgh is not really a basketball town, so
Yeah.
forgive us. I had to look
hockey
these
and
things-
football.
Yeah, I had to look these things up.
Maybe a little bit of baseball.
Baseball, not so much.
Well, yeah.
It exists.
Tonight it's going to be 2 losing record teams. Should be
Last question:
fun.
ice cream or cake?
Neither.
Neither.
Yeah, I'm not
Really?
a sweets guy.
Nothing. Glass of wine.
There you go.
That's your dessert. There you go. Port.
Thank you.
Port.
No port. Glass of wine. Maybe a slice of cheese or something.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's the podcast.
That's fantastic.
Well, thanks for traveling out.
That was great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.